today is a day that you should mark down. Savage declares Obama America's first Marxist American president. Now, it'll be picked up tomorrow by I don't know who, but it's true. It'll be more apparent as years go on that I'm right. I mean, I'm always ahead of the curve. I don't expect you to accept that today. You'd have to have some knowledge and some education to even be able to debate the issue. So we don't know where this is going to end up. We have no idea how this ends. We know how it began, but we don't know how it ends. Usually things... I had a business deal once, almost business deal, like 20 years ago. Some rich guy tried to involve me in some scheme. I had a real PhD from a real university. He wanted to use me as a front man. He was like a Madoff kind of guy from New York, and I was young. I had young children. I didn't know exactly what he was going to do. He didn't tell me it was illegal, but I sensed, oily about him. He took me out to a country club filled with Madoff types. They all gave me the big greeting. They were setting me up in order to be a front man for something, and I backed out. But he did teach me something that I've never forgotten, and he said to me, how it begins is how it goes, in business or anything else. It's true, 1,000% true. I found it to be true in relationships. I found it to be true in business. Some people you can enter a business deal with, you don't even need to sign a piece of paper, and it runs like that forever. Other people will harass you to death for years till you sign the deal, and they never stop. They're crazy. It's the same in a relationship. Some relationships start mellow, and they stay that way. Some start crazy, and they get crazier. How it begins is how it goes. So with Obama, how it begins is how it goes. He's a mystery man. We don't know who put him in power. We don't know where he got the money to go to college. We don't know what he wrote for his thesis. So there's a lot of mystery surrounding him. We don't know where that's going to end up, but how it begins is how it goes. The mystery will grow. It won't get resolved, ever, because we have a media that's complicit with the cover-up, whatever it may be that they're covering up. Well, I'll take your calls on anything you want to talk about. Chicago, Kevin, welcome to the Savage Nation. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I don't see why it's a problem that we don't see Obama's grades. When we go for most jobs, they don't ask for our grades. So why do we need to see his grades? It doesn't.
Well, because sense. Moving packages around in a warehouse is a little different than having your finger on the nuclear football.
Well, what is that? But even if you got your hand on a nuclear button, what does that matter about his grades?
So, in other words, you don't find it odd that he's the only president in American history for whom this mystery exists? In other words, why would they hide his grades and what he wrote for his thesis unless there was something controversial in both of those issues?
I don't think that they're hiding the grades. I don't.
Oh, wait a minute. If they had to disclose the grades of every other president and their thesis, things they wrote, what their papers were, why would they not have to do so for Obama?
Yeah, but it's not important when you're a president.
Well, I mean, it is important by the mere dint that his are hidden and the others are open. That unto itself is important. In other words, they're hiding something. Wouldn't you suspect that?
Well, no, that's not true. We know what he wrote. He talked about what he wrote in his book, Dreams of My Time.
So in other words, you're taking him on face value? You trust him? You trust the book that was ghostwritten by Bill Ayers to be the truth? The whole truth and nothing but the truth?
No, that wasn't written by Bill Ayers. That was written by Obama, and this was before he became president.
Kevin, you're either a useful idiot or a cover-up artist, one or the other, but either way, you're not selling very well right now. How is it that he's the only president in history for whom grades are not published? Why is that? What can we assume? His grades were terrible?
Well,
if he got all A's, wouldn't you? If he got all A's, don't you think we would know that?
But we don't need. Did we know Bush's grades?
Yeah, of course we did. They laughed about Bush. They said he was a C student. I'm trying to tell you that. Oh. Everyone knew everything about Bush, and they ridiculed him for having only a C average. But at least we know what his grades were. Why is so much about Obama's past a mystery is the question, Kevin. And I think it's a fair question.
It's a fair question, but what I'm saying is it's not important whether we know what his grades are. He's
not important to you because apparently you are a product of outcome-based education, where just showing up every day and sitting in a chair is enough to get a college degree.
Well, I have a college degree.
Well, of course, because you went to a school where you didn't have to do anything. All you had to do was show up, and they promoted you. Well, you mean your grades didn't matter either?
No, when I go for a job, they're based on my performance.
Well, I understand that, but you're not president. You're just moving packages around in a warehouse.
Savage.